Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you today? I trust your day is coming on just as well as mine is. So, today I would want us to talk about something very dear to my heart, and that is the sex conversation. As we all know, the holidays around the corner, would have cousins around, would have uncles around, and unfortunately, the highest number of abuses go on when children are on holiday. So, what do we do to handle it? How do we protect our children? The truth is that we need to have conversations about these things. We need to talk to them about these things so they know what they're up against. And I've realized that for the most part, fear is one factor that has kept parents away from having the sex conversation with their children. A couple of people are afraid that, they will say the wrong things, they would expose their children to much more. But the truth of the matter remains that as a parent, you are your child's greatest influence. You should be your child's greatest influence. And if you're going to be your child's greatest influence on issues that bother on sex, you can't leave the child to assume. If you don't tell the child, TV will tell the child, peers will tell the child, and you're not even sure of what exact information they are getting. So don't let fear keep you away from having those conversations. And to have those conversations over the holiday, there are a few things we're going to talk about. Number one is don't come from a place of fear. So a lot of us were told that if a boy touches you, you get pregnant. If you look at a boy, you get which are not true. So we shouldn't go telling them the wrong things so that you feel that, if I tell them that if they touch a boy, if a boy touches them, they will get pregnant, and you tell the boy if you touch a girl, you get pregnant. These children are not dumb. They'll begin to ask themselves, but I've been touching this boy in my class and he hasn't gotten pregnant. So we need to make our sex conversations empowering, not disempowering. Your children shouldn't live in fear after you have the sex conversation. So ask yourself, what I'm going to tell this child now, is it going to make this child live in fear, or is my child going to feel empowered? So if you have conversations with a child and you tell your child, your body belongs to you. Nobody is allowed to touch you inappropriately. Nobody is allowed to, it doesn't matter where they're touching you. You don't have to allow anybody touch you, So those types of conversations are empowering, letting the children understand that you are in charge of your body. Nobody should tell you what to do with your body. And the thing about teaching the children private parts, public parts, sexual abuse doesn't just happen. There's a lot of grooming process that goes on. So if you've taught the child that, just your breasts are private, your genitals are private, someone could come and then they're rubbing them behind the neck every day. It gives them some feelings that they like, or someone could be rubbing them on their hand, and then the child could tell themselves, so mommy said they shouldn't touch my private part. This is not my private part. And then over time, it goes from touching the arm to we are human beings. We are we're human beings that respond to feeling. We respond to touch. Over time, if the child is comfortable and enjoys the feeling of the person touching them on their hands, over time the child's guard is dropped. The child's guards are reduced, and then abuse happens. Something else we can do in this process of sex conversation is to teach the children the proper name for genitals. It's important they know the proper name for their genitals. All the pee, poo, poo, papa are different things. So when you teach them the proper names, when they're trying to tell you what is going on with them, they are telling you the appropriate thing. If they come and say, somebody was touching me on my leg, he was touching me on my leg, and that's not what he's trying to say. He's trying to tell you somebody was playing with his genitals. Because he doesn't know the proper name, he's not going to be able to use. So the second thing is teach them the proper name. Another Another very interesting thing we might need to start talking about is to teach our children about their feelings, what to do with their feelings. You know, these predators are smart. Some of them can come in form of, they could begin to make the children feel like adults, have adult conversations with them, and then the child begins to feel in a certain way. Then when the person now knows, oh, this child, I've gotten that child to feel this certain way, the person tries. So when they've succeeded in getting that child to feel a certain way, the person tries to take advantage of the child. And do you know what would often happen is that the child would probably not put up a resistance because the child feels, I brought this on myself. I was the one that started feeling this way. If I didn't feel this way, the person wouldn't do this. Do you understand the psychology now? So the person now actually makes the child begin to feel that I brought this on myself. I was the one feeling this way. And the child, because it's a child, would not know that all this was planned. Everything that was going on to put you in a certain mood, to make you feel a certain way. So we need to teach our children about their feelings, what these feelings are, what they should do with the feelings. So you tell the child that you feel a certain way doesn't mean you should act on those feelings. It is important we talk to them about their feelings. And then the last thing I would want to talk about is the stranger danger. A lot of us teach our children, don't talk to strangers, run away from strangers, do this, do that. So the child grows up knowing and feeling that the only threats I have are people that I don't know. And so everybody around the house, the domestic staff, is auntie, uncle, auntie, brother, sister. And because they are brother, sister, because they are people that the children see often in the house, it is most likely that they are going to be relaxed around them. And that's when the abuse happens. So we need to teach them that you shouldn't just be wary of strangers. You should be wary of everyone. We're not teaching. So you're not teaching them to be suspicious of everyone, but what you're telling them is you need to be careful. You need to be careful. If we say your body is off limits, it means your body is off limits, both for people that are strangers and for people that are not strangers. Some girls are being abused by their fathers. Yes, it's going on. And then because the father is not a stranger, the child is confused. So my parents told me that I shouldn't let any uncle touch me. I shouldn't let any auntie touch me. But here, this is my father touching me in a certain way. This is my mother touching me in a certain way. And the child doesn't know what to do. So it is now not, you see where the problem of stranger danger comes in. So it's not just about strangers. Teach them that nobody is allowed to touch you in a way that is